Creating
I feel like if you forgot, that would just create a whole new diagnosis, and that wouldn't be great.
It might be a little rough because like
It's been a few weeks, man.
It's been yeah.
Roll with that.
So many bloopers right now. It's great.
Oh, is it running right now?
Yeah,
Oh.
I think so. It's good.
I think it's running. Yeah, it is.
Do you have the watch? Do you want to watch? Your watch.
It's like right in the middle of the frame.
Just again.
Ready? Okay. Hi Lisa, how are you doing today?
I'm okay.
Good. How's your week been?
It's been a lot of bullshit with my friends, but you know, I'm okay.
A lot of bullshit with your friends.
Yeah.
Why don't you tell me about that?
Well, this one person I work with, she just is. I honestly just don't like her, and it's just she's been causing all sorts of drama within the group.
What kind of drama? What's she doing?
Oh, I just don't like the way she goes about, I do this activist-y stuff, and I just don't like the way her approach to it, and I've been telling her that, and everyone's saying I'm being too mean, but I'm just straightforward.
And what about her approach don't you like?
Well, she's getting paid to do the work she does, and I think that just makes, I'm not getting paid to do anything. I don't have like any money, so it just irritates me that she gets all this glory and all this money for doing the same stuff that I do. It just irritates me.
So it sounds like you're saying that it's not fair, possibly.
Yeah, it's definitely not fair. I feel like I work twice as hard as she does.
How's everything else going at work?
Well, I'm not working right now, I just do that stuff volunteer, but at home, things are kind of the same, just, getting my son up for school, then during the day I do my thing, and then take care of him at night.
Okay. So I'm going to double back to some of your volunteer work. How are the rest of your interactions there?
The other people I work with, they live all over the state, so I don't see them a lot, but we have like conference calls and stuff like that. And it's pretty good. Everyone else is pretty cool.
The last time we talked, you said that one of your goals to get out of treatment would be to be able to get to the point where you feel like your children are going to be successful, happy, and healthy.
Yeah.
So let's talk a little bit about that and some things we can do to maybe relieve some potential anxiety around that.
Okay.
Okay. So you tell me what is your definition of successful, happy, and healthy?
I honestly, this is kind of embarrassing, but I just don't want them to end up like me. My dad died when I was young. My mom was a drug addict and she died, and I was raised by my grandparents, and that was just not good. It was just it wasn't a good relationship, so I just want to be a better mom to them than I had.
And how do you feel that you're doing with that?
I could always do better.
Okay. What would you say are some of your strengths? Why don't you tell me about some of your strengths and some of the areas that you might think that you need improvement on?
I'm a go-getter. I go after things. I'm straightforward. So I feel like that's good. I'm a little unstable right now financially, so that worries me in terms of my son. My daughter is out on her own now with my grandson, and they're doing pretty well, but financially I'm pretty unstable.
Well, let's talk about the financial piece for just a second. Can you remind me once more of your job history?
I used to work when I dropped out of high school. I worked as a server, and I did that for a long time, and then I worked as a bartender too, and that's kind of it. I never got my GED.
So you're currently looking?
I get some disability from the government, so I kind of live off of that, but yeah, I'd like to get a part-time job.
So, I want to talk a little bit about, when we met last time, we talked some about your drinking. Where are you at with that? How much are you drinking? Or have you been drinking the past week?
Yeah, I drink. I drink on my own. I drink after my son goes to bed, so, I'll drink wine or make a few cocktails, and then it helps me go to sleep.
Okay. A few cocktails, so 1 or 2, 2 or 3.
2 or 3, maybe a glass of wine. But I'm up super late, so it's over a good number of hours.
So would you say that the cocktails or the glass of wine is something that you need to go to sleep?
Yeah, I can't really go to sleep if I don't do that. I'll be up till 4 or 5 a.m. and then I have to get up for my son, so yeah, I kind of, if I don't drink, I'm not really going to sleep. I smoke weed too, so that helps.
How much are you smoking? Or how much have you smoked this past week?
I'll smoke, usually every night before I go to bed too, while I'm drinking.
Is there something that's happening maybe before bedtime? Any sorts of feelings that you're having that make it hard for you to sleep?
It's just I just can't settle down. I just am thinking about everything and worrying. I'm just up worrying and feeling anxious, and so just the alcohol, the weed, it just kind of helps numb my mind out a little bit.
And you say that you're thinking about things, thinking about Elijah and Angie, finances.
All that stuff, just the work that I do, it's stressful with just, I've been involved in the political scene with this election coming up, and just that's all stressful, there's a lot of opinions out there. And then I have to get, I got that DUI, so I have to get that all cleared up, so just probation and all that.
Right. Okay. So tell me a little bit about some of the stressors at your, where you volunteer.
Well, I kind of dabble in a lot of different things, so part of it is I just don't get along with everyone. It's I have a strong personality, people just can't always deal with that, I think. And I'm opinionated, I get that, but aren't we all opinionated when it comes to things like this? politics, issues in the world. Everyone has an opinion. So I think it's just kind of my strong personality that people don't necessarily like, and I work super hard though, so.
So tell me what it is you do specifically. So you've talked a lot about kind of your interactions, it sounds like, with some of the other volunteers or some of the staff. Do you interact with the public?
Yeah, we'll do rallies and like, community events. And that's all good. Like people, I'm usually one of the main people who does that stuff because I'll be like out in the front because I don't mind talking to strangers, but so that stuff goes fine. It's more just the internal drama.
Okay. So how do you do anything aside from the alcohol and the weed to kind of get away from that or remove yourself from that mentally, some of that stress?
I mean, I guess I can be a little reckless. Like a lot of my friends, they're into different kinds of hard drugs. I've experimented throughout my life, but I try to be careful because my mom was a drug addict. She did heroin. So, I also don't want to get caught up with the law. So, that kind of stuff.
Anything else?
I mean, I'm bisexual, so I go out, do stuff with different people.
So have you had lots of different relationships then?
Yeah, I mean, I had obviously the dads to my kids, but since then, yeah, like I'll hook up with people. I've had, a few scary moments with STDs and stuff like that.
How many partners would you say that you've had?
Like in the past year, or?
Sure.
Probably like 15.
Okay. So any other kind of events going on this last week?
I mean, my kid's gonna be off for winter break soon, so I'm kind of trying to figure out what to do during that time. He'll probably spend part of it with his dad, but when he's with me, I kind of have to change things around. I want to do something fun, but I don't have, a lot of money to do anything. So just been thinking about that. Been up, a lot of the night just worrying, and I seem to get lost just like on the internet, and then before I know it, it's like 3, 4 a.m.
Lost? Can you explain that for me?
Just social media, just reading article leads to article leads to other websites. So just kind of, I just end up being up most of the night.
So is that something that you do as well to kind of cope with some of the stress? Is you just kind of, surf the web?
Yeah, or I'll watch TV. I mean, it's just, like when you can't sleep, you can either lay there in bed or you can do something. So I just get on my computer.
So I've jotted down some notes, and one of the things that I'm noticing is that when we talk about things that you do to kind of get away from some of the stressors of everyday life, like volunteering or you know, thinking about finances, things like that. Predominantly what comes up is drinking, smoking, and then you've, you know, said that you've used some other drugs in the past and been kind of reckless. Kind of the watching TV, surfing the web were secondary thoughts. Would you say that that's accurate?
Yeah, I mean, yeah, that's accurate.
Okay. So, I mean, how do you feel about that?
I mean, I guess my life is not necessarily going in the direction I wish it would. Just financially, I'm stuck in my little apartment. You know, I can't upgrade stuff. I can't necessarily get what I need. So, yeah, I drink because that's kind of what my family does. What my family has done. I mean, I didn't really know my dad, and my mom used a lot of things.
So you said something just then that struck me. Earlier in this session, you said you wanted to do better than your parents.
Yeah.
And that's one of the things that you're concerned about. You don't want to be like that, and you want your children to be successful, happy, and healthy. And I get the feeling that you believe that starts with you and how you raise them, correct?
I think so, yeah.
Okay. And then I ask you about your coping, and the drinking and the drug use is just something that your family has done, and so you do that too? Is that correct?
I mean, yeah, but it's not the same.
Okay. So
I'm not an addict. I mean, my mom was like, just, like you couldn't even talk to her.
And so, there's a difference between the frequency that your mom used and what your mom used and your alcohol consumption and marijuana consumption now.
I think so. I mean, I'm not dangerous. She was.
I get the feeling, and I'm definitely not saying that you're dangerous, but I get the feeling that you feel that you can still cause harm, specifically to your children.
I mean, what do you mean by that?
So that you can negatively, I think that you feel that you could potentially negatively impact that thing that you want them to have, that success, that happiness, and that healthiness. Is that accurate?
Definitely.
Okay.
Yeah.
And what do you think about that?
I mean, it goes back to like money. I wish I could just be in a better place, but the job opportunities for someone like me aren't that great. I wish I could provide more of a stable environment for my son because he's still pretty young. But it's just kind of the way my life is.
Would you say that you have barriers to providing that sort of life for your son, to gaining employment?
Yeah.
Tell me about those.
I mean, I don't have much of an education, so people don't want to hire someone like that. I'm just kind of stuck. Like, I don't really know what I want to do. The things I'm passionate about don't pay.
you still need, so you're saying that, not having your GED is a barrier, and the thing, like, the volunteering that you're doing now, and you're helping out on campaigns, is it the right verbiage?
Yeah, I mean different things, not so much like for a candidate, but just different issues.
Just different, and that's not paying, and that's something you're frustrated about.
Yeah, I am, because some people get paid to do that stuff, and I'm just like, I'm working just as hard as them, and I don't make anything.
So why, what's the difference? Why are you a volunteer status and they do the same exact thing and they're being paid? What's the difference?
I guess I just can't get hired.
Have you tried there to get hired?
No. I don't know if I'd want to work there. Because then I have to, you know, when you're a volunteer, you can kind of do what you want. But if I guess I'm afraid if I get a job, then, you know, I can't make my own schedule.
Okay. So, having flexibility is important to you?
Yeah.
It's important.
Because I like to, you know, I'll go, like, for these different campaigns that I work on, like, I'll travel. People I know are all around the States, so sometimes I'll go and my son will stay with his dad. And if I have a job, like, that's not going to happen. I mean, back when I was a server, you know, there's days you have to work and you just have to be there.
Of course. So, and make sure that you correct me if I got any of this wrong.
Okay.
So, do you have some concerns as far as, you know, raising your son the way that you want to raise him, your ideal, you know, way of raising your son? And one of the big ones that I'm hearing is financial, just having enough money to make ends meet. So that's a concern. And then you've got some barriers, right? So the education, and then basically you said what you're passionate about doesn't pay. But what you're passionate about could pay.
That's true. I just don't think anyone wants to hire me.
And that's because of
My education, my, you know, now I have a little bit of a record with my DUI. People don't want to hire someone like that.
okay. So your education. Oh, is that something that you're planning on? How have you thought about how you can overcome that specific barrier?
It's been so long that I don't even know how I would do that. It just seems like I don't know how to be a student anymore.
And what do you mean by that specifically? You don't know how to be a student. What is a student?
Like, I don't know how to study. I mean, I don't even know what it would take to do that. It would probably take a lot of time. I don't know if I could do that.
Do you feel like time is not something that you have?
Not so much. I feel like the days just fly by.
Okay, well, we've got probably about another 10 minutes left. I kind of want to circle back around before the end of this session,
Okay.
and talk about your drinking. Okay? You said in our last session that that's something that your friends are concerned with.
Yeah, they tell me they're concerned about it, but then they drink with me, so it's like, I mean, if they're really concerned about it, why did they do that?
Maybe it sounds like perhaps it's a mixed message to you.
Yeah. Definitely.
And what do you think about that?
I mean, it makes me think it's fine. I mean, they tell me they're concerned, and then it's like they enjoy me more when I'm drinking.
You, in a way, have identified that that could potentially be an issue, though.
The drinking?
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I don't want my son to do that. But it's like, I don't know what else to do.
So, for next week, would you mind thinking about, and maybe just kind of making mental notes about, what specifically you're thinking about? Like maybe right before bed, right? Like right before, you're getting ready to kind of wind down for the evening.
Mm-hmm.
And kind of make a note what those things are and what the feelings are attached to those specific things.
Okay.
And if you want, you can write it down. If not, you can just make a note. That would be fine. And next week when we come in, we can talk about that and maybe explore different ways of coping with those feelings. It sounds to me like at the end of the day, winding down is not something that you feel that you're able to do without assistance.
Right.
Okay.
Yeah.
So how do you feel about maybe working on being able to do that in a different way?
I'm not sure what I would do.
I mean, I think it's different for everybody. Some people read, some people listen to music, some people meditate. I think it's different for everybody. But if you're open to it, we can explore what might work for you that's different from alcohol or marijuana.
That sounds, yeah. I mean, we'll see, I guess.
How do you feel that that would play out in terms of your son?
I don't think he knows what I'm doing, because he's in bed.
So that's what we'll do for next week. And like I said, remember you can write it down if you want and bring it in. That'd
Okay.
be awesome. If not, just make a mental note and come in and we can talk about it.
Okay.
Do you have any questions for me before we wrap up?
I don't think so.
Well, I will see you next Thursday.
Okay.
Thanks, Lisa.
Thanks.